It's Black Friday, and you spot a 55-inch TV for $299. It looks incredible in the store. Bright, sharp, everything you want. For a month, it's perfect. But by month 6, the picture flickers, colors wash out, the Wi-Fi drops nonstop, and support hits you with the worst line possible: out of warranty. Suddenly, your $290 deal is a $450 headache. This happens to people every single year, and today I'm breaking down exactly which TVs you should avoid and why. Before we jump in, hit subscribe, like the video, and tell me in the comments what TV you're using right now and what problems you've run into. It helps everyone make smarter choices. Let me start by explaining what happens inside these cheap TVs that makes them fall apart so quickly. The biggest problem is something called the backlight panel. Think of your screen like a sandwich. The backlight is the back layer that produces all the light, making your picture visible. In an expensive TV costing $1,000 or more, manufacturers use hundreds of individual LED lights spread across the entire screen. Each light can be controlled separately, creating what's called local dimming. This technology gives you deep blacks because lights can turn off completely in dark areas, and bright whites because lights can turn up fully in bright areas. This creates contrast and makes the picture look sharp and detailed. But here's where cheap TVs cut corners. Instead of hundreds of individual lights, they use maybe 20 or 30 lights spread across the screen. And instead of individual control, they use one dimming zone for an entire section of the screen. This saves the manufacturer maybe $20 to $40 per unit. Sounds small, right? But multiply that by millions of units sold, and companies save hundreds of millions of dollars. The problem is that this cheap backlight system fails constantly. The LED chips inside these lights are lower quality, sometimes rejected from higher-end production runs. They get hot easily, they dim over time, and they flicker when asked to do anything beyond basic brightness adjustments. Hisense is one of the worst offenders here. In 2025, they sold millions of cheap TVs with this exact problem. Failure rates hit 68% within 2 years. That means if you bought a Hisense in 2023, there's a 2/3 chance it stopped working properly by 2025. The flicker starts as an occasional glitch. You think maybe it's the remote batteries or the input cable, so you restart the TV. It works for a week. Then it comes back. The flicker gets worse. Soon the backlight doesn't just flicker. It dims randomly during your favorite shows. That stunning 4K picture becomes a gray, flickering mess. And when you call Hisense, they tell you the warranty is expired. A replacement backlight panel costs $80 to $120, plus shipping, plus labor. Suddenly, you're looking at $420 to fix a TV you paid $299 for. Most people just throw it away and buy a new one. Insignia, another budget brand sold at Best Buy, has the same problem. Their 72% failure rate is actually even worse than Hisense. But Insignia takes it further. Their power supplies have caught fire, literally burst into flames in people's homes. This led to massive recalls affecting hundreds of thousands of units. Beyond the fire risk, screens develop purple or green bleeding at the edges by month 10. This is color shifting, where the edges of the screen look completely different from the center. A viewing angle of just 25 degrees means if you sit slightly to the side, the picture washes out completely. You're stuck watching TV straight on like you're in an interrogation room. Now let's talk about TCL. They've taken a different approach to cutting costs. Instead of failing hardware, their cheap models fail through software bloat. TCL packs these budget TVs with aggressive advertising and tracking software that slows everything down. When you turn on the TV, you don't see a clean home screen with your apps. You see a wall of ads. Sponsored content takes up half the screen. There are ads in the menus, ads on the home screen, ads between your apps. This isn't just annoying, it's a performance killer. All these ads running in the background constantly consume processing power and memory. By month 6, you notice the TV getting slower. By month 14, it's downright sluggish. Launching Netflix takes 20 seconds instead of 3. The remote feels unresponsive. Then the freezing starts. Mid-episode, the TV just freezes. The picture stops, the sound stops, and you have to restart the whole thing. This happened to thousands of TCL owners in 2025. They reported 8,500 complaints, with many describing their TV becoming basically unusable within the warranty period. But here's the kicker with TCL. Their warranty barely helps. TCL's warranty success rate is only 60%. That means if you try to use your warranty, there's a 40% chance they'll reject your claim. They'll say it's user error, or say there's nothing wrong with the TV, or claim you didn't follow their procedures exactly. Their support is notorious for ghosting customers. You call, wait on hold for an hour, get transferred around, and end up right back where you started with no solution. Then there are the store brands like Westinghouse. These TVs are typically sold at Walmart or Best Buy under the store's own label. Store brands can be great for some products, but for TVs, they're absolutely terrible. Westinghouse has a 65% failure rate. Their power supplies have been recalled for literally exploding. But that's just the start. The panels themselves are the cheapest you can find. By month 10, owners report purple patches appearing on the screen. These aren't just cosmetic. They indicate the panel is failing. The color accuracy dies, and watching anything becomes frustrating because you can see these color shifts everywhere. Motion blur is another nightmare with Westinghouse. Their response time, how fast pixels can change from one color to another, is around 12 milliseconds. For comparison, a good TV is 5 milliseconds or less. That extra delay means when you watch sports or fast action, there's noticeable ghosting. The ball looks like it has a trail behind it. The camera pan during a movie looks blurry. It's not terrible, but you constantly notice something is off. The remote situation with these cheap TVs is ridiculous. Remotes die without warning. No battery warning, no gradual weakening. They just stop working. And replacement remotes are either unavailable or cost $40 to $60, which is insane for a remote. Many owners report their remote dying within the first year, and they can't replace it without paying a fortune. Some of these TVs don't even have universal remote support, meaning you're stuck. What really infuriates me about store brands is the repair situation. When something breaks, you call support and get quoted $200 to fix it. But the TV originally cost $200, so now you're being asked to pay 100% of the original purchase price just to fix it. This is where the design becomes clear. These TVs are built to fail and be replaced. There's no parts ecosystem. Repair shops can't easily get replacement components. It's not like Samsung or LG where you can find parts and service for a TV that's 10 years old. With these cheap brands, if something breaks outside of warranty, you're basically forced to buy a new one. Let me explain why this happens. Cheap TV manufacturers buy panels from the lowest bidder in China, Southeast Asia, and other low-cost regions. These panels don't go through the same quality control as premium panels. They're made with thinner materials, cheaper adhesives, and minimal durability testing. Some panels are actually rejected from higher-end productions and sold to budget brands. On top of that, the firmware, the software running the TV, gets bloated with ads and tracking. Every software update makes the TV slower because it adds more features that serve the manufacturer, not you. Here's something that really bothers people. Firmware updates brick entire TVs. A user will update their TV's software thinking they're getting bug fixes and improvements. Instead, the update goes wrong and the TV won't turn on. It's a complete brick. There's no way to fix it without sending it to a service center for $150 to $300. And this happens to hundreds of people every month with cheap brands. The warranty situation is another disaster. A premium TV comes with a 5-year warranty that actually covers things like panel failure and power supply issues. A cheap TV, 1 year if you're lucky, and even then, the warranty has massive exclusions. It doesn't cover backlight failure, it doesn't cover water damage from humidity, it doesn't cover color banding or pixel issues if fewer than a certain number of pixels are dead. When you read the fine print, you realize the warranty is almost worthless. This is why Consumer Reports stopped recommending most budget brands. They looked at the actual data: failure rates, warranty rejection rates, repair costs, owner satisfaction, and the numbers are just too bad. These TVs fail more often, fail faster, cost more to repair when they fail, and have warranties that don't actually help you. So what should you actually buy? The answer isn't to spend $3,000 on an ultra-premium TV, it's to spend a little more on mid-tier brands that actually care about quality. Look at LG, Samsung, and Sony in the $400 to $800 price range. These aren't budget brands, but they're not premium either. They're the sweet spot where you get reliability without breaking the bank. LG TVs in this range use real local dimming technology. The software stays clean and responsive. Updates actually improve things instead of slowing you down. Most importantly, failure rates are less than 10% over 5 years. That means your TV will probably last longer than your cable subscription. Samsung has similar reliability with excellent picture quality and fast response times for gaming. Sony is known for color accuracy and reliability. If you have $500 to $700 to spend, a Sony or Samsung in this range will serve you better than a $299 Hisense that dies in 2 years. When you're shopping, I strongly recommend using RTings as your reference. They're an independent testing lab that measures brightness, contrast, color accuracy, motion handling, and they have real failure data from thousands of users. They test how long backlights last. They measure response times. They check software speed over time. Their data is honest and unbiased. Don't just look at the price tag or the flashy demo in the store. Check RTings. Read what they found. Also, look for a 30-day return window. Good brands offer this because they're confident in their products. If a brand doesn't offer a return window, that's a red flag. Check owner reviews on independent sites. Not Amazon, where fake reviews are rampant, but sites like Trustpilot or dedicated tech forums. See how many people report problems in the first 6 months. If it's more than 10%, skip that brand. With cheap brands, it's often 40% to 50%. Here's the hard truth. That $290 TV that breaks in 6 months isn't a bargain. It's a waste of money. You're not saving $200 by buying cheap. You're losing money because you'll be buying a new TV in 2 years instead of 5. Plus, you spend time dealing with customer service, arranging repairs, stress about whether it's going to break during an important game or movie night. That stress and time has value too. Let me give you the numbers. A $300 TV that lasts 2 years costs you $150 per year. A $600 TV that lasts 5 years costs you $120 per year. And that's before you account for the $420 repair costs on the cheap TV. When you include repairs and the fact that you have to dispose of the broken TV, which often costs money, the cheap option becomes the expensive option very quickly. Before your next TV purchase, do yourself a favor. Spend 15 minutes researching. Check RTings for reliability data. Look at warranty terms and what they actually cover. Read real owner reviews. Check the return policy. Then make an informed choice instead of just chasing the lowest price. Your future self will thank you when you're still watching that TV in 5 years, instead of sitting in front of a dead screen with an empty wallet. So here's my final challenge. Like this video. Subscribe for more honest tech advice that saves you money. Tell me in the comments what TV brand you're currently using and whether you've had reliability issues. Let's build a community where people make smart choices instead of falling for the bargain trap. Don't waste your money on cheap TVs in 2026. You deserve better. And honestly, your viewing experience deserves better too.